Treasure Valley's original all-sports station. Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM. The Ticket.
Welcome back. Idaho Sports Talk. Prater in the Ballgame. Here we are on Sports Radio, The Ticket. Welcome back, Idaho Sports Talk. Good stuff going on. I think we have a little technical difficulty going on with JP and our board. There we go.
Just when you praise JP for pushing buttons, he screws things up.
I know, man. I have to be the mean guy.
I'm sorry.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah,
I can't. You give JP a compliment. You give him an inch, take a mile.
We finally show up on a radio with a great video guest, a television superstar, and we screwed it up, JP. Way to go.
No.
He's shaking his head.
All kidding aside, welcome back to Idaho Sports Talk. Our guest, Luke Caldwell, a name very familiar here in Boise, Idaho. What's going on, Luke? And he is a Boise boy. Maybe you've seen the great Home and Garden Television Network program that he starred on for many years, and there's an event tomorrow, Prater. I don't know if we're going to cruise down here or not. Maybe we will tomorrow, Prater, 6 p.m. at Barnes & Noble in Boise, just off Milwaukee there. We will have the big book signing. Luke, you new author, man, American Soul, homes designed with love, comfort, and intention. Luke Caldwell.
Right. Wow, quite the intro there. I like it.
Boise boy there. Welcome back to Idaho Sports Talk, man. Congratulations on the book.
Hey, great to be here. Yeah, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'll tell you what, I'm not a writer. Try my best though.
but you're a designer who can put together a book. I'm sure it's a coffee table book with lots of pretty pictures, lots of cool information.
That's right. That's the only way I was able to make it.
Yeah, part of tomorrow's deal is a Q&A session, a book signing, so you can kind of dump into your brain. And Luke, we appreciate you jumping on Idaho Sports Talk today, bud.
Yeah, love you guys. Glad to be here. I don't like you talking Colorado State. I mean, let's find a better subject. But other than that, I'm happy to be here.
Why do you think we brought you on this week?
I like it.
Yeah, Luke, do you ever have a chance to get to the Bronco games on the Blue?
Yeah, I go to Broncos games. I take the kiddos. We have fun. I'm a little bit of a fair weather fan. I'm not gonna lie. And so it kind of depends on what's going on, but I do enjoy a good game. Who doesn't? I mean, I fly more to Seattle. I went to the Broncos Seahawks game, I'll tell you what, and that was something.
Yeah, you've got like 9,000 children. You got like 9,000 television shows. How the hell do you find time to watch football?
Yeah, seriously.
I that's the one thing I kind of do outside of my regular life is, and I don't watch a ton of football. That's why I'm more of an NFL guy than college, to be completely honest. I follow the Seahawks religiously. Everything else is kind of like, oh, what's going on?
Totally. Luke, I'm a big Seahawk as well. Grew up in Bellevue, and it's the Seahawks are a huge part of my life. You became close friends with Pete Carroll over the years. If you wouldn't mind, describe to me the relationship. Did he see you on TV? Did you bump into him and you both recognized each other? How the hell are you and Pete Carroll?
Well, Fred, now that's a very broad term, friends. Now maybe an acquaintance. I've definitely hung out with him a couple times at practices and gotta shoot the breeze with him a little bit, and my kiddos did as well. And he is just the kindest person. He has got such an amazing. He is obviously what we see on the sidelines, but honestly, one of my really good friends. He was actually Pete Carroll's personal assistant for like 8 years, and so that was where the connection came in. And so he would get us into a lot of practices, and we'd get to hang out after the practice, and I'd bring my kids and my wife and got to meet everybody. And they're just a great organization and great people.
We want to talk about a lot of stuff here. Your book signing, Boise boy Luke Caldwell with us, HGTV. But now that I have you, and we're talking, this Hawk Talk type of thing, and I'm a historian with this team as well. How fun has this season been? It's been one of the seasons with lowest expectations coming in, and now all of a sudden it's like, holy smokes, I love this unit. I love how they're all coming together. I love that Pete is doing this again. The similarities with this group in 2012, I think, are alarming. Just your thoughts. Huge win in LA on Sunday. Now the Giants are coming. Bring it, Luke. You must be loving this.
I am loving this, and let me tell you, there's fair weather fans and people who are really Seahawks fans, and I'm a legitimate. Ever since Steve Largent, when I was 12 years old, met him, got his autograph, and I've been, on board ever since. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people thought Seattle was just going to be a tank job this year. They were working on it. They weren't going to do anything. And you true fans know the reality of Pete Carroll and this team and really the core of who the Seahawks are. And so I will tell you this much. In May, I bet $6,500 that the Seahawks would win more than 5 games. And I'm looking real smart, but it's because I'm a real fan and I know how good we really are. I'll tell you what.
Oh, now you're just killing my partner, Johnny Ballgame. That's a beautiful bet.
That's a great bet.
That is nice.
It's feeling really good right now, but a lot of my friends were calling me idiots at the time.
Yeah, they're over.
I put money on the Seahawks to win the Broncos game, not cover, win.
I did too.
And I was there, and we won. I'll tell you what, I'm loving this season.
Oh, man, it's been so much fun.
All right, Luke Caldwell, book signing event tomorrow. We'll dive into that. Americana Soul, Barnes & Noble on North Milwaukee, Q&A session, book signing. We'll get into that here in a second, but let's talk. I can't believe I'm saying this because let's talk a little Geno Smith. I was giving Ballgame so much crap early on that Geno Smith was the worst quarterback in the world. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll really have it going on. Be honest, Luke, because we never lie around here. How much concern did you have about Geno Smith early on, and how much do you love watching him now?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I've always trusted Pete and John. I knew that they had a plan, and I was really glad that they weren't trying to bring in, like Baker or anyone else. I was glad they kind of stuck to their guns. I thought it was going to be Drew Lock, to be honest. I felt like they truly had saw something in him. But at the end of the day, when they said we're going with Geno, I honestly felt like he's got to be better. There's just no way that Pete would play him if he's not better than Drew Lock. And at that point, I was just like, he's always been a systems guy. He's always been like, hey, I just want you to be, point guard, just kind of work your magic. And ultimately, I mean, I had a little bit of expectations that we were going to be okay, but I had no idea we were going to be this good. And he really is running the system just super efficiently, and it's amazing to see.
Speaking of amazing to see, it's amazing to watch Pete Carroll, and I've been following him as well since USC days. I actually stalked this man one day as an adult. I stalked Pete Carroll and chased him down in the alley one day because I was that kind of a weirdo. I love this man, the way he conducts himself on the football field and away from football. What is inside Pete Carroll's DNA that makes it work?
Well, I think he's an authentic person who is genuine and is always aspiring to be more. He's not content with anything. You can tell he's one of these people who is extremely driven. He doesn't worry what anyone else is saying around him. And I think that there's people like that in life that are just confident in who they are and what they're called to do, what they're supposed to do, who they were really made to be. And I love people like that because they have so much passion and drive and focus on what they're doing. And he knows who he is. He knows what his philosophy is, and he's going for it. And I respect that because even if you miss your mark by a little bit, people who are driven and are like, I'm going this way regardless of what anyone says, that is Pete Carroll in a nutshell. And honestly, that's why he's been so successful in his life.
And then he always ends up, I don't get it, Luke, but he always ends up on top. He always ends up getting the better end of the deal, it feels like, with Pete Carroll.
It's true, man. Do the right thing and keep doing it over and over and over again, and it works out. I've seen it in my own life. Just putting one foot in front of the other and saying, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stick with it. You see success that way.
Are the Seahawks the team to beat in the NFC West? I mean, this is a legitimate question I can ask you, Luke Caldwell. Are they?
Well, I'm a fan, obviously, but I really do feel like, some things are going on with San Francisco. They are betting the farm on this year and looking a little desperate. And obviously the Rams have not been what the Rams are. We've seen kind of look at the difference between Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and their connection on the sideline versus Kyler Murray and his coach. I mean, It's crazy the difference. And you can see that ultimately the Seahawks, if we can just be consistent, get rid of the ball quickly and just keep, moving down the field, do good on third downs, I really feel like the Seahawks have a chance to win the division and, get into the playoffs. And you never know, obviously, once you get there. But if there's anyone I don't count out, it's Pete Carroll.
How long does Pete Carroll coach?
I think he coaches till 75, probably 4 more years.
3-4 more years. I mean, with this team, the way they're playing right now, I mean, barring massive injuries or bad luck or whatever the hell else you can throw into the NFL fire, he's going to get this thing going. It might not be this year, Luke, as you know, but it's a great step forward, I think, this year. Hawk fans, we were thinking that, this is going to be a tank year, all this stuff, and you're missing on quarterbacks. And I've called Pete Carroll delusional on my own radio show with Mike Prater here, like several times. Like, Pete, you're delusional. I was saying it all summer, and now, no, Johnny, you are delusional. You got to trust Pete Carroll here. Big event tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Barnes & Noble here in Boise. That's on Milwaukee. Our guest right now, Luke Caldwell, one of the Boise boys. He's got a new book, Americana Soul. I want you to pick this sucker up, and hey, you can talk some Seahawks with him tomorrow too, Prater. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer those questions again. That's going to be a fun one. Luke, what was the inspiration behind the book?
I think more than anything, someone asked, Simon & Schuster asked me to do it, and I was like, I mean, what an honor. I would love to do a book. I haven't really thought about it. And again, I'm not naturally like a writer. I'm definitely more of a visual person, but I, worked through the process. The gal who was, helping me kind of edit the book, she's done like Martha Stewart stuff, and she really knows her stuff. So I actually decided to speak the entire book into my phone while we were over in Hawaii for a month. And I just was kind of like thinking through all the process, and I would send it back to my team, and they would type it all out and be like, does this make sense? It actually was really good process for me to think about like how I do design a space. And really more than anything, it came down to the fact that I love, when you walk into a space and it just feels a certain way, and you feel like it's classy, or it's warm, or it's comfortable, or it's elegant. And I think, deciding to say, hey, how do you want this space to feel? Like when you walk into, an old saloon and it just has that vibe. That took a lot of, design elements and colors and choices and lighting to make it feel that way. So you feel a certain way when you walk in. And that's kind of what the book's all about. Is we all have a home, we all have a story, we all have something to share of who we are as a family. And I love the idea of all of us being our unique selves and making a space that feels like you, for you, not only your family, but also for, your friends and everyone else who comes over. So it was a lot of fun process, and I'm happy with how it turned out.
Hey, Luke, I received my Tyreek Woolen jersey in the mail yesterday. I'm ordering. Yeah, right. I know I got a Woolen jersey. I'm the only one who knows who I know who has one. I rule. A Walker jersey is coming next. I've turned my garage into just kind of this sports lair. It doesn't really have rhyme or reason yet to it. And I'm glad now that I have you, because you are two wonderful things. You're a Seahawk fan, and you know more about, how to make a sports room, probably more so than anybody I've ever talked to. What are the key ingredients if I'm going to continue to turn my home into this Seahawk sports lair? What are must-haves there? What do you?
I would say, first of all, who are you designing for? You're designing for yourself. You're designing for your families, for your buddies. You always kind of want to start with like, who's going to be enjoying this space, and what are we going to be doing in this space? And so if it's all about watching football, obviously you want a place that's comfortable. You want a place that is actually, you can kick up your feet and relax. And so that's what I love about this, is it's designing with intention. And I think when you have an intention of what your goal is, it's obviously so much easier to execute. What a lot of people do is they just buy a bunch of stuff that, oh, this is cool, that's cool, I like this, I like that. And then they try to put it all together and like, no, that doesn't work. You got to have a plan from the very beginning of what you envision it could potentially be, and then start buying those pieces to make it happen. And ultimately, don't be too cheeky about anything. I think understated, less is more. Stay traditional and classic. You'll always be happier with the results. So I got myself a Steve Largent jersey signed.
Nice.
Really nice. Hall of Fame. It's all, and I'm going to put it in my office. It's just one piece, makes a statement. That's all I need.
Beautiful. I grew up in the Largent era like you did too. Luke Caldwell, a Boise boy, and a big book signing tomorrow at the Barnes & Noble on Milwaukee at 6 p.m. Right when this show ends, head down, meet, greet Luke Caldwell, Americana Soul, homes designed with love, comfort, and intention. A good friend of the show, the Boise boys, and Luke Caldwell. We appreciate you today, man, and have fun.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, that's going to be awesome. And of course, go Hawks. Let's beat the Giants on Sunday.
Going to be a good one. All right, you guys. Appreciate you. Have fun.
Good stuff, Luke Caldwell. That was a good seg. Prater, I don't know why, man. That was one of my favorite segments we've done in a long time around here. Oh, go figure, huh?
Nice.
Good stuff, man. What do we got coming up? Bob Beeler around the corner. Dimitri Washington, the new Boise State sack leader. He's going to talk, and Bob will share kind of what? just kind of not a getting to know, but just kind of what's going on this year with Dimitri Washington. But next, you guys hear what Dirk Cutter said about Talon Green's throwing fundamentals? You'll hear it next. JP, let's get to the news on Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ballgame.
Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ballgame.